Hey guys, this video, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about a couple of the things that were assigned for this week. This first one I'm going to go through is about the handout that I gave you about identifying themes. I think that's useful. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Get rid of this stuff. Sorry. Very useful for us for this class. Um, we're going to do a lot of reading literature, watching film, and so we need to be able to identify themes. Themes are essentially like the message that an author is trying to convey. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're actively trying to convey that theme. They may have an idea in mind that they want to get across to their audience, but a lot of times something opposite comes across to people. So there are many themes that can be in a story. There's probably as many themes as or messages as there are readers out there. So I think a useful way to think about these essentially elements of fiction, or that we're going to talk about real quick here, is that they're sort of the horses that are pulling the wagon, and in the wagon you have a variety of themes or messages that people can get out of a story. So it just depends on how they want to interpret it. So the first thing to look at with any story or piece of fiction or film is the title, right? So what does the title tell us? What can the title give away about the meaning of the story? So that's often a good one to look at. And then another one is the narrator or character statement. So the way that the characters talk, or things that they say, can give a lot of insight into theme and what the meaning of the story is. Plot, or the way events are arranged in a story, can also be indicative of theme. So how does the writer organize the story? What shape does the plot take? Where are the climactic moments? Where are the complicating moments of the story? And then, of course, conflict, probably the most essential of all elements of fiction. You cannot have a story without conflict, right? I think it was Kurt Vonnegut once said, in order for any story to work, both characters have to want something, right? So there has to be two opposing forces that are wrestling over something, whether that be two individuals, or, of course, the individual versus society, or versus the environment, or versus themselves. So, but you have to have that conflict, and conflict can reveal a lot about the meaning. And of course, point of view is a big deal. So, point of view can be used to change the way a story reads or change the meaning. I think one of the examples they use here is the famous Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. So is our narrator a trustworthy narrator? It's told from Montresor's perspective, and we don't know for sure whether he's telling us the truth. And then, of course, symbols are also very important, the meaning. So, I think one of the classic symbols in all of fiction is the Batman emblem. So what is the Batman symbol that he wears on his chest? What does that mean? Or if you want to think about Superman, those are two iconic characters from fiction. So when people see that bat, what are they supposed to think, right? So they're supposed to think, hey, this guy is a psychopath, right? I don't know, maybe. So we have questions about Batman, but symbols are things that stand out like that in a story. So they can add a lot of meaning. And then finally, the way characters change in a story. So a lot of times characters will follow an arc, as we call it, and they may change from beginning to end. And what does that? A lot of times we call those stories coming of age stories. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a young person that's going through that kind of transformative experience. This can happen throughout our lives, right? It's just moving from one position or one maybe way of viewing the world, and the events in the story kind of change that character's perspective. Some people refer this to as an epiphany. So they kind of see the light. So all of those things can work together. So what I want you to do is I want you, as we read and watch these films, I want you to be looking for those things. And so I think this is a very good, concise summary of the elements of fiction and how they can be identified um, in stories and in film, because they're used in both, right? By screenwriters and by authors. And so useful, valuable information for you. I hope that you'll hang on to this and kind of use it as we go throughout the semester. Okay. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching this.